welcome to Final Drive TV. We're located outside of Las Vegas, Nevada at Spring Mountain Motorsports Ranch. We're here for round 2 of the Nitto Tire United States Touring Car Championship Series. This is the first time at this track for our drivers. We're going to go see what they have to say.
It's a beautiful facility. The track is gorgeous. It looks like it's brand new asphalt. Tons of grip, a little bit of dust out there, but thanks to the U.S. Touring Car team for putting this great opportunity in front of us to race.
It's a very fun track. I mean, the pavement's got good grip. It's smooth. You just got to be careful not to run off. So it's going to be a fun race, I think.
It's in the weirdest place in the world out here. It's like a moonscape, but the track itself is really fun. It's got some really cool elevation changes that I didn't anticipate out here in the desert. Some really high-speed corners that are kind of challenging, as well as some really, really tight low-speed corners. It's fun. It's fun configuration. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like wheel to wheel with guys charging into the same corner later on today.
I think it's a really fun track. I think it's a lot of corners, a lot of turning, very, very, very technical. You need good concentration, good hydration because of the heat. But overall, the track's really fun.
It was the first time we're out here. It's pretty hot. Just still learning the track, getting used to the track, getting used to the tires, just learning everything here. It's the first day here. So actually, the track is pretty nice, but you just got to learn it. It's a little difficult.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Final Drive TV. As usual, I'm Rick Nannini, and I'm here with Julio Decker. Julio, what do you think about this beautiful Spring Mountain Motorsports Ranch? Awesome place, isn't it?
It is fantastic, but very, very hot. It's already taken a toll on a whole bunch of cars that are not making it to our race today.
Let's get to the starting grid. On pole, we have Brad McClure in the BTM Motorwerks Porsche 911. Next to him is Andrei Hartanto in the SuperTech Valves CT Engineering Honda S2000.
Row number 2 is Daniel Akhromstev and the Red Star Racing BMW M3.
In the touring category, we have Mike Sekhon on pole in the BTM Motorwerks BMW M3. Next to him, Gary Sheehan in the GoGoGear.com Konig Wheels UTI Hyundai Genesis Coupe.
Row number 2, we have Doug Nakashima in the TNI Mazda Speed 3. Next to him is Kurt Simmons in the MBO Motorsport Honda Civic.
Next is Mario Lento in the Life's Good Racing Hawk Brakes Mitsubishi Lancer Rally Art. Next to him, his teammate Carl Chica in the other Hawk Performance Competition Clutch BMW M3.
Row 4 is Ray Piloto in the Pierce Motorsports. Next to him is Jason Alexandridis in the P-Tech BMW M3.
And here we are, just in time as we watch the race start. And look at that, Kurt Simmons got bogged down. He was poised to take a great launch, but he got bogged down. But Daniel Akhromstev takes a huge launch and goes from third to second, looks like, in that red BMW M3 that you see right there on your screen.
We have another close race start, and here we are with Brad leading the pack.
Brad is doing awesome in his beautiful Porsche, but whoa, he goes off. McClure is off in the dirt, and he gets passed by most of the field. Behind, Kurt Simmons is having a huge battle with Carl Chica in that black BMW M3, the competition clutch Hawk brakes entry. And look at that, the Mitsubishi is now off in the dirt. These guys are pushing way too hard too soon.
Here we are in car with Mike Sekhon. As you see, Brad is trying to make some ground back up. He's going by all the touring cars.
And this is for the lead in touring. And wow, Sekhon underneath braking. Beautiful, clean move, and takes the first place away from Sheehan, who got a great launch at the start.
Gary hasn't gone away yet. He's going door to door. He's not going to give up that first place easily.
Wow, look at this. This is a great fight for the lead. These two guys have been super quick all weekend. And have battled, and now they're battling back and forth. But behind them is a huge battle between the Mitsubishi, the Mazda, and the Honda. 3 manufacturers behind, all really close together. But here we are back to the lead. This is the fight for second place, I believe, in GT class between the McClure 911 and the Honda S2000 of Hartanto.
Brad's got to be mad at himself right about now for giving up that pole that he worked so hard to get to land. And here he goes right by Andre. Is he going to get it?
No, he's not.
Boy, that Honda's breaking late.
More power, but just not enough. But meanwhile, that whole pack is that whole race between these two guys is allowing Daniel to just walk away from this field and build a nice gap. I'm sure he's going, thank God, you guys fight, and I'll be here watching. But meanwhile, speaking of fighting, Simmons in the Honda fighting with the Mazda of Makashima and the red Mazda you see in front of him. These two guys are going at it, and in front of him is Mario Lento. Wow, this is getting pretty hairy. This is not going to end well between these guys. Look at that.
These guys really want to get on the podium very, very badly here.
Definitely. Wow, the Mitsubishi. Oh, they hit!
We have contact.
Pop
We
pieces
have contact.
flying. Oh no! Well, let's go to replay. Look at that.
The jumps on the inside of Mario.
Oh, a little tap,
unfortunately,
and boy,
he was in the third, so two wheels on, 2 wheels off. He just didn't have enough traction.
You saw some plastic pieces flying off, but now these three are still at it. You can see that, but you can see that the pack in the front, Mike Sekhon and Gary Sheehan, are pulling away, and this fight is for third place in the touring class. Back to the lead pack in the GT category. McLaren now still trying to get by the Honda S2000 of Andrei Hartanto. Andrei had huge overheating problems with that Honda yesterday, and they actually had a turbocharger on that car that they took off. So they're really down on horsepower, but they're at least they want to be able to finish the race with this unbearable heat that's over, about 110 degrees out here today.
And here goes Brad. He's going to slingshot right by Andre. He set him up very, very well through the last 2 turns to get that straightaway speed. And I think we're going to see Brad just run away and hide from that Honda.
Yeah, Brad should have the edge in that fight, but look at that. These 3 guys are still going, but it looks like now the Mazda has slowed down a little bit, and the fight has become between Simmons and the Mario-driven entry of the Hawk Brakes competition clutch Mitsubishi Lancer that you see in front of you.
I wonder if that contact didn't hurt the Mazda a little bit, because that's not like Doug. He's usually very aggressive. And speaking of aggressive,
this is a drag race.
This is some really close racing.
This is close.
You can fit your fist between those 2 cars right about
Nobody's
now.
pulling away from each other. Look at that. They're just side by side, dead even. Until you get to the braking zone.
Kurt's always very, very aggressive on braking, and that showed it again right here. You got to love this series. The power to weight ratio goes to show you all these different manufacturers: front wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, rear wheel drive, very, very equal footing.
Yeah, that was. It doesn't get much closer than that. And I think Kurt being very aggressive on braking, as you said, and in a car that's about 500 pounds lighter, that was the difference right there for under braking.
Absolutely. Oh, there it goes. Wow.
That was.
Mazda slowed way down.
That was the Mazda. And speaking of slowing down, Jason Alexandridis, the race 1 winner. Big problems here with overheating issues. He had a reported head gasket issue with this car, so his day is done. And with this, he will lose the points championship, the season championship points lead, and hand it over to somebody else today.
The heat in Vegas takes another person out of this race. This race is becoming quickly a race of attrition, while the front runners are definitely dicing amongst themselves. So this is going to be interesting to see how the results end up.
And here's Ray Piloto, a local guy. He's from actually Las Vegas. First time with the series, and he pulls off with overheating issues again in the Pierce Motorsports Hyundai Veloster. Let's go back to the start and watch the start. We're on board Daniel's car. Look at that beautiful launch. He just rocketed up front.
Daniel looks like he got slingshotted out of that gate.
He almost was going to pass the Porsche. Now here's Sekhon. And to the right, you'll see the Hyundai Genesis of Gary Sheehan. Boy, those 2 are pretty equal. That's a nice drag race between these 2 guys.
Gary's got the inside line. He's going to definitely take that.
That was beautiful. Now, on board Mario, the 4-wheel drive should really launch this car up front.
You got to love the start on a 4-wheel drive. He goes by no less than 3 other cars.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Mario's loving it there.
And Carl Chica's start. Rear wheel drive will always take the front wheel drive. Carl did an excellent job of keeping it off the concrete and passing Kurt very safely.
But boy, that Mazda really rocketed away from Carl. That was pretty nice.
That Mazda's got a ton of horsepower in that car. It's amazing how they can put it down in the front wheel drive car on a start.
And you'll see Jason is basically just trying to do as many laps as possible to get as many points as possible with a hurt car that was at the beginning. But going back to live action now, we see Akhromstev comfortably leading, but in the back of your screen, you just saw a little blue and red flash. There it is. That's the BTM entry of Brad McClure.
You know he's pushing hard to catch Daniel. He does not want to give up on the season, and he is pushing every little bit of that Porsche, trying to get maximum grip out of those tires, and get as much of that horsepower on the ground as possible. So he's got the bit between his teeth and chasing Daniel down.
Yeah, and Brad is our champion.
Here he goes. Uh-oh. He's pushing a little too hard. He goes off again. Same spot, second time around.
Our 2013 season champion McClure is not having a good day with 2 offs, but at least he has not hit anything, and he just can still keep going.
That's the great thing about those Porsches. They've just got such a lineage, such heritage in racing. They're pretty bulletproof cars, and they've seen their fair share of going on.
Now, speaking of bulletproof, somebody else looks like is having technical issues.
Oh, no.
And that looks like, if I'm not mistaken, that's Kurt Simmons in the Honda, the MBO Motorsports PPG Honda Civic, smoking. Looks like a
good aerodynamics in that car, but that white smoke is not gonna do
that's
good.
Not good.
Straightaway speed there.
So huge mechanical problems with that car, and so he is done as Mario in the Mitsubishi passes him, and Carl Chica is about to pass him also. Boy, that's not nice to see. That's not good for the championship for these guys. Kurt, of course, is co-driving with Pete Bovenberg. Bovenberg was supposed to drive today, but he broke his wrist apparently in a separate accident before they arrived to the track, and he actually called in his backup driver, Kurt Simmons, to come drive for him.
Rick, this is going to get interesting. We got our GT leaders coming up on some traffic here, some back markers. Let's see how well they can handle traffic. We saw Brad weaving his way through. That Porsche horsepower is coming in very handy right about now. Andre's going to be a bit underpowered, so he needs to really thread the needle here.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a ton of horsepower on a wide open track.
Oh, and he takes him on the inside, drops 2 wheels, and thanks him at the same time.
At least he got the thank you wave. It's always important to give the thank you wave. But yeah, in this track with the long straights, it's really nice to have good horsepower levels here. As Andre takes another position away, takes away another lapped car, and still chases. Considering that the Honda is down a ton of horsepower to the Porsche, he's actually doing pretty well keeping up with the Porsche.
Yeah, he does a very good job of keeping up the momentum in that car.
Yeah, and if you listen closely, you also hear the sequential transmission that's also making his debut in the S2000. That's something that the team has just put in, and I'm sure Andre's loving that because it's really keeping the revs close by. Look at that! Look at that ratio drops.
Amazing how quick that shift goes through.
Yeah, and he only drops about 1,000 horsepower per shift with those nice close ratio gears. Beautiful, but well, he just needs more horsepower. It's in 3rd place right now, but he has to get a little bit more horsepower, figure out his overheating issues, so he can make it up a little bit for the next round.
There's some rumors that since the turbo didn't work, that car will not stay naturally aspirated for too much longer. So that only leaves one other choice that I know of.
he needs something. He needs a supercharger, turbo, or nitrous, or something, right? Back to the touring car action now. We are on board with Chica in the Life's Good Racing, and he's chasing his teammate in the other Life's Good Racing Mitsubishi Lancer. So
seems like as the race is going by, that lighter BMW is making up some ground on that heavier Mitsubishi, because I'm sure the tires on that Mario Mitsubishi 4-wheel drive car are going away a bit. So Carl's doing a very good job of closing that gap.
Yeah, and I'm sure turbo cars are, while they're fast at the beginning, on a hot day they get a lot of heat soak and they probably lose a lot of power too. So maybe later on in the race, the naturally aspirated cars will have an edge over the turbocharged cars.
You can actually see Carl's pushing pretty. Oh, well, speaking of that, yes, he drops a couple of wheels off. So he is clearly seeing Mario come back to him, and so he's definitely going to take the fight to Mario here.
Yeah, but I'm sure Mario knows that Carl's not going to do anything stupid, and he's fairly safe. It's probably much better now. He probably would rather see Carl in his rearview mirror than anybody else.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk to the team boss on that one, see if there are any,
any team orders there.
Or if they're allowed to race.
That's right. But going back to the front of the pack, we have Mike Sekhon in 1st place in Touring and Sheehan in 2nd place in the GoGoGear.com Hyundai Genesis Coupe. But Sheehan has actually started to was about 20 seconds or so behind, but now he's actually shrunk the gap, as you see them both in the screen.
You can actually see Sheehan sawing at that wheel, and he's usually very, very smooth. So again, he is pushing to the nth degree, trying to catch that front-leading BTM Motorwerks BMW M3 back up again. and he is cutting that lead a little bit down.
Well, the according to timing scoring, it's not Sheehan is speeding up by a little bit, but it's the BMW that slowed down a lot, which has achieved this let this action to happen. So it'll be interesting if maybe that car's overheating. Is that why Sekhon's slowing down? Who knows?
He could also be trying to save his tires for the end of the race here. So as we see, we got some
more lap car.
Oh, we got contact.
Oh my God, contact!
My goodness.
Carl Chica by a lapped car gets hit, gets punted off the track.
Wow, but he saved it though. He doesn't go around.
Nice
very
job.
nice job, and he brings it back very safely. And that car is still in one piece for the most part.
I think so. It's still moving. Doesn't look. Looks like the wheels are all pointed in the same direction. So that's a good sign. But we have a bumper dragging. That's not too bad. So that car shouldn't be too bad. But wow.
Hopefully, either gets rid of that bumper or it stays on security so he doesn't get black flag for that. So we'll see how that rolls out.
And back to the front action again is as we see Akhromstev in that red M3. Boy, he has just been unstoppable this weekend. He is just so quick.
I think Daniel's been playing a very, very smart race. He let Brad and Andre get into it and gapped them, and he's just basically keeping that gap. And really, frankly, running away with this race. He hasn't. Nobody's bothered him all race long.
Yeah, he's having a nice, boring race, which is exactly what you want when you're leading. You don't want anything to raise your heart rate.
It's a very good-looking car. I love the wheel arches on that thing. Makes it nice and squat looking. So he's done a fabulous job of making that E36 M3 be competitive in the GT class.
Yeah, but here we are. Look at this. Andre's actually closing up to the Porsche. Look at that. That's amazing. Just imagine what if he had 100 more horsepower, what he would be able to do. And look at this gap. This gap has shrunk down tremendously.
Really shrunk down to next to nothing.
This is the lead for touring class. Look at that.
Again, you can see Gary's really pushing it hard.
Wow. This is going to be an awesome race. Can't wait to see what happens here. Will Gary have enough? He needs just a little bit more. And here's the chance. Lap traffic in front. Will that be enough to slow him down? So
boy, that hit really took Carl out of it. Mario's just ran away with it, and now we have a massive gap between the Carl Chica car and the Mario. And
yeah,
there's something dragging him. It looks like it's that bumper on the ground.
Yeah, it's the bumper. Then they're fighting for third place right now here. And
he gets hit again.
He gets hit again by another lapped car. Oh man!
Well, I guess if there's any good news, he's getting used to getting hit and saving the car, so he saved it again.
And he got hit the same exact place, so the dent was already there. So
that shows you how great these professional drivers are as far as car control. So at the limit of adhesion, when you're going around a turn, you get hit. That's the good old, cockpit maneuver that would spin any normal human being, and yet these guys are able to keep the car pointed the right direction and keep racing.
That was something else. But wow, look at the smoke coming off of that car. But looks like he's going to make it. And look at that checkered flag. So here we are. Daniel Akhromstev first place, Brad McClure second, and Andre Hartanto in the SuperTech CT Engineering Honda S2000 in third place.
Mike Sekhon brought it in first place in the touring class, followed by Gary Sheehan, the Go-Go Gear Hyundai Genesis, and in third place was Mario Lento of the Hawk Brake Mitsubishi Lancer.
Now, one thing that happened right after this race is what we should tell you about is what happened at Impound. So Sekhon's car was deemed to be illegal during he failed to have his data acquisition work on the car. All these cars are required to have inboard data acquisition, and so he was repositioned to fourth place. So the win actually went to the Arsham Sheehan, GoGoGear.com, Konig Wheels, Hyundai Genesis. Lento finished second in the Mitsubishi, and third place was Chica in the BMW.
Well, Daniel, congratulations. First place in today's race in the GT class for the United States Touring Car Championship Series. Tell me how you feel. What was the race like?
Oh, I feel great. The race was good, actually. I got used to the car, got used to the track. Just try to stay on the road. Yeah, finished first. I'm really, really happy. Thank you.
Great. So how did your car, was it performing well, overheating, brakes? Tell me all about that.
No, actually, car was good. It was sliding a little bit. My car's not set up for this track, but overall, I mean, the car was running great. Everything was fine, actually. Thanks to the team, thanks to everybody. The car was running perfect.
Excellent. Well, we're 2 rounds in, and you got a 3rd place in the first round and first place in this round. So we're looking forward to see what you can do at Thunder Hill next time.
We're going to do first. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, Mike, congratulations. First place in the touring car class today. Excellent job. Tell me how the race went for you.
The race went beautiful. In the start, it was a little tough in the start, but came into turn 6 and had a good launch on the turn 6. It was able to put the car in the front, kept a little distance, kept a little pace up, and just try to maintain the race from there. And we made it.
Well, excellent. Your strategy really worked. In the round 1, you had a 5th place, so that's some good points. But first place points for round 2, that's excellent.
Yeah, I can't beat that. It was a lot of simulator time, a lot of practice, and tire temps, setup, suspension setup, the whole 9. Just kept in it and just kept digging and digging for speed, and we finally found some good speed out of that car. So a lot of hard work, but good result, worth every second.
Excellent. So what's on the agenda before we get to round 3 at Thunder Hill? Any changes to the car that you see that you're going to be making?
Looks like we're going to run the same setup. The setup of the car right now is very, very, very good. It feels really great. And Thunder Hill is like a similar track with the same kind of corners, the same kind of sweepers. So we're going to try the same setup again. If we have to play, we'll probably play with some tire temperatures at the most, and lots of simulator again, and over the next couple of weeks, and push every second we can.
Excellent. Well, congratulations again on this first place win, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Joining me right now is Gary Sheehan, driver of the Go-Go Gear UTI number 33 Hyundai Genesis. Gary, tell me about your race.
Yeah, the UTI ironclad Konig wheels Go-Go Gear Hyundai Genesis was a lot of fun to drive today. I got a great start. I jumped in front of the BTM BMW that qualified in P1. Was able to hold him off for a couple of corners, and thought I might be able to hold him off for a little bit, but man, coming down that first long straightaway, that BMW just stretched his legs and he got down under me into turn 6. And that was kind of the end. He just started walking away. That car's a rocket ship. So I tried to stay with him as much as I could, just to keep in his mirrors and see if I could continue to keep the pressure on him. But that car was put together well and was able to hold us off. But the car was just awesome to drive. We made quite a few changes from yesterday through this morning. The car just kept getting faster and faster and was more and more fun to drive. there's still a ways to go in that car. The cool thing about this is there's a bit more development that we can do, and I'm sure we could pick up the pace, which I'm sure the rest of the field doesn't want to hear, because we did pretty well compared to third and the rest of them. But overall, it was a great time.
Excellent. Well, second place on the starting grid and second place finishing is an excellent place to be. Moving us into Thunder Hill, you anticipate a lot of changes set up between here and Thunder Hill?
I think there could be. I mean, we've got to take a look at, we really need to expand the adjustment envelope in a couple of areas. Like the front of the car really needs some more camber to get the contact patch down, and there are a couple of other things here and there that I'd really like to take a look at to make the car a little bit easier to drive at the limit. So I'd like to throw a few of those things on the car and see how it does at the next race.
Well, excellent. We are looking forward to see what changes are made. Thunder Hill, it's a track that the car is very familiar with, your co-driver is very familiar with. Will you be driving or your co-driver at Thunder Hill?
To be determined, but I think both of us have an awful lot of time at that track in the 25-hour races that we've done before. So, either or, I'm just happy to be here.
Excellent. Well, again, congratulations on that second place finish, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks very much.